Hello everyone, I received this 5.1 received from repair, an Onkyo unit model TX-SR500E. The owner started that the unit powers on, but there is no audio output on any signal input. I suspect that the audio processing section may be the source of the problem. First, I will power it on to check whether all output relays are engaging properly. It appears to power up normally. The front panel buttons operate correctly, and the display is in very good condition, suggesting minimal use. At first glance, the unit seems to be functioning normally. Next, I will perform an audio test using a music source to confirm whether the issue is genuine. It seems like it's not picking up any frequency station. It is possible that the problem is related to configuration settings, so I intend to perform a factory reset. However, the issues persist, which indicates that intervention on the digital circuitry will be required. This blackness doesn't look very good. At first glance, it can be observed that all circuit boards are covered with dust and glass debris. Before proceeding with the diagnosis, the unit must be cleaned using compressed air. This is how the unit looks after cleaning. I will now take several measurements to determine whether any issues are present. I will remove the video input selector and the radio tuner module to suspect the circuitry underneath. First, I will measure the power supply voltages to verify that everything is within specifications. Is good. Good. Good that. Fine. Pin 4 is fine. Pin 8 is good. I check the power of power transistors. is good. The negative rail is fine. It appears that the power supply section is operating correctly. Next, I will measure the crystal oscillators to check whether the clock signals are present. For these measurements, I will use an oscilloscope. I want to power it on for the check. This signal is fine, and left clock signal is fine. This power section is very cleaning. I check the main quartz. This quartz is very fine, working correctly. The oscillators appear to be functioning correctly. I will now perform a signal tracking test using a signal generator set to a sine wave in order to determine where the signal patch is interrupted. Now I set the signal generator to 1 kHz and the amplitude to 300 mV. Now I have connected the generator to the input on only one channel. Now I'm going to send the generator signal to the amplifier. I press start. I'm going to adjust the volume to 70 and I'm going to look with the oscilloscope probe to see how far the signal patches. Look. I noticed that there is a signal between the final stage and the processor, which means that the signal reaches the amplifier. It appears that the signal reaches the amplifier output stage. Look at that. However, everything still appears to be operating as it should. Ultimately, I will perform a test using a 4 ohm resistive load to evaluate the output power, and I will also carry out a music playback test. I have now connected a 4 ohm resistive load to one channel along with an oscilloscope in order to observe the output power per channel and the current consumption. This testing method can be considered a type of stress test. This is the current draw with no input signal applied, and this is the corresponding supply voltage. I will now apply a signal from the signal generator. The volume will be increased directly from the amplifier. I will raise the volume up to the clipping threshold. This is the voltage drop observed under load on a single channel. Look at that. This is the mains power consumption. This level of consumption is only reached when 4 speakers are connected and the music track is played at maximum volume. I will now also show the rise time to evaluate how fast the amplifier is. This test is performed using a square wave signal. The measured value is 3.20 microseconds, which indicated that this is a decent amplifier and it's above unit based on integrated amplifier ICs. That concludes the load test, and I will now perform a music playback test using 2 4 ohm speakers. Now I've connected the speakers on laptop and I'm going to play a song. Get started. concluded the audio test. I'll now proceed to diagnose the issue related to the radio station. The issues was cased by the flexible ribbon cable, which was no longer making proper contact in the connection on the circuit board. The unit is now operating without any issues. That was the entire repair process. I did not expect the unit to start working properly after simply blowing out the dust. Most likely there was some debris casing a short circuit, and now everything is functioning correctly. That's it for this video. If you would like to support my work, please consider subscribing to my channel and sharing the video. And if you watched the video until the end, thank you very much.